And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Today marks the end of an era in Great Britain. Their monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, has officially been laid to rest. A professor joins us to explain why this day is so significant in the world.
Obviously, this is a historic day. Many people mourning, not just in England, but around the country. Tell me the significance of Queen Elizabeth II.
Well, I mean, if you just start with the idea that she was queen for 70 years, surpassing Queen Victoria, which is the previous sort of benchmark, and that she's really the only queen any of us, whether you're British or not, she has been the face of the British monarchy for all of our lives. And so it's a sort of monumental changing of the guard, which we saw the whole ceremony of that. It's a very elaborate ceremony, but it really marks a tremendous change, sort of end of an era of stability, I think.
When people think about her legacy, what do you think she will be known for? She's faced some criticisms, but also she has accepted responsibility for colonialism of the past. But what do you think her legacy will be?
I think she modernized the monarchy. In other words, she dragged it into the 20th and then the 21st century. When she first became queen, it was a very old-fashioned, almost 19th century institution. So to give you an example that I've used, talking to my students about it, she's the first queen to really be on television a lot, right? I mean, before television doesn't really exist, and her speech every Christmas is a part of holiday tradition. So she sort of took that new sort of media and turned it into a tool of communication and sort of an image setting tool for her and for the royal family. So I think she was intelligent. She understood that things just couldn't stay the same. And she tried to move with the times, because if you think about the times she lived in, they were times of rapid change. Decolonization, joining and then leaving the European Union, all of these things happen while she's queen.
And an important word you used there, you said she used television as a tool. I was shocked she never sat down for an interview, but she wanted to control her message and her image, and she never did an interview. She only did broadcasts where she would deliver the message she wanted to the masses.
I think she was worried. There was a documentary at one point that was done, and I think she thought that she lost control of how she was presented and the family was presented. So I think you're right that that was part of her job. I mean, they call it the firm because it is in fact not simply a human being, but an institution that she speaks for. So she has to play both roles. She has to be a human being, but also the representative of the institution. And that's a delicate balancing act, particularly given all the sort of personal problems that sort of showed up in her family throughout the period of her reign, so that she's had to really navigate that in a way I don't think that anyone else would have been able to.
And how do you think King Charles has handled the transition here? And I think it's King Charles III now, which we have to get used to saying.
Well, I'll say there was a very well-known West End play in 2014 about Charles III that doesn't end well. So a lot of people, when they hear Charles III, because they think back to the Stuarts and think about this play, they get a little nervous. I think he's under such a microscope in a way that he's never been, that they're going to be the fumbles. You saw the video of him being impatient. And people really tried to blow that up. But I think he's tried to be respectful and also at the same time talk about her as a mother and a grandmother.
And he's mourning.
Yeah. And I think that's right. I don't think that's purely for show, right? Even though I think he was ready to be king, I think he also knew that when this day came, it was going to be a mixed emotions at best, and probably just sorrow to begin with.
Do you think he will be up to the job? I hear that he's a modernizer. He is already looking at ways of using, like the Buckingham Palace, charging to come in, to make money, to sustain them instead of relying just on the people.
Well, I mean, he's an extremely wealthy man, given the amount of land he controls. And also he's able to earn a variety of income streams from using his land. So I think it's interesting to open up the palace. It's already in some sense been opened up. But I mean, I think where he's a modernizer is that he has his own sort of political and social ideas. So for example, he's very much an environmentalist. He talks a lot about climate change. He's a supporter of organic farming, for example, and he talks about urban design a lot. He has a longer sort of public track record than Elizabeth did. So people know a lot more about his views. And his views are a little bit contrary to the current Conservative Party sort of ruling orthodoxy. So he's going to have to sort of walk a fine line because he needs to stay out of politics. The quickest way for the king to become completely irrelevant is to overstep into things that are seen as overtly political as opposed to political in a way, sort of background political, if that makes sense. In other words, he doesn't want to intrude upon party politics because that really puts the monarchy at risk.
And of course, that was Dr. Karl Ittmann from the University of Houston.